we gotta start somewhere, right?
Yes.
So what can we do to find out a little bit more?
Ask a question.
Okay, I love it.
Or
Okay,
5.
really simple. So Jan, I ask her what she wants to work on.
Hi Courtney, what do you want to work on today?
I want to work on the resistance I have to not being taken care of financially by my husband.
Okay.
So I really love being taken care of financially by my husband, and also I want to make more money than him. So there's, yeah.
So I'm gonna interrupt at times just to point out certain things. You saw the one hand come up, and then we saw this nice motion here. Yep, parts, yeah, right?
Parts.
They're showing us it, right? The unconscious mind is always communicating. It's never not communicating. It's a little hard to figure out what we're doing. So Betty Erickson talked about how Milton would listen with his eyes. And we have an example of it right there. What a gift. So, Jan, you're listening. What would you like to explore the most about what she just said? There's no wrong answers. All roads are wrong, right? They don't lead to it, they are. Husband, wanting to make more money.
And I would clarify, so it sounds to me, what you're saying is that a part of you wants to be taken care of, and a part of you wants to make money on your own, and what would the making more money on your own give you?
Yeah, so it feels like one side is being taken care of and the other side is freedom, more freedom.
Yeah.
Taking care of and freedom, that's,
Yeah.
those are your the two parts that are conflicting.
Yes.
And what would freedom give you?
Other than freedom.
Or what would freedom give you?
Yeah.
What does freedom mean to you as opposed to what it would mean to me?
So not having the freedom feels like being limited. So it would give me the freedom from feeling limited. Is that?
And
Just want to, sorry.
Go ahead.
I know this, I'm being such a rude. When you're working this way with clients, there's not some guy in the middle interrupting. So it's just important to make some reference frames for what we're doing.
they're you.
Right.
Not coming to do this
Yeah.
next week.
So what we have is this presenting problem of money, and there's different things in our mind about what that means, and Jan did a fantastic job. What freedom, and then there's this idea of limits. Right? So now we've got another layer already emerging as to what's going on, what might be holding her back from the experience she wants. Really simple thing I want to call. Jen, if at any point you feel a lot of pressure, feel kind of weird, don't know what to ask. I'm right here. So I forgot to say that on the front end. Just want to make sure. You're doing great. Absolutely fantastic. Jen, I'll try not to interrupt you again. Please fire away.
Hi, Courtney. So what does freedom mean to you?
It means so. So hard to put words to that right now. I guess without not having limits, not feeling limited, it feels like, yeah, not being limited. So how do you want me to say that in a positive? Because I don't know how to say that other than feeling open, possibilities. Like I get to make my own choices.
Your own choices.
My own choices. Yeah.
So did you all see the way she said that? Oh, making my own choices. You think we're getting closer to something? Might be a little bit more powerful for her. Been at this for like, I don't know, 20 seconds without me constantly interrupting you. So here's a good time to get feedback. And the easiest way I do that, I'll just demo it real quick. So Courtney, what happens when you think about having the ability to make more choices?
When I think about the ability to make more choices, actually that kind
you go.
Yeah, there's this competing. I kind of feel like with choices comes responsibility, and actually, I don't want more responsibility. So I want freedom to choose the fun things, but I actually don't want more responsibility. Yeah.
You heard that, right? Fun.
Yeah.
Do we have someone in front of us that we have a hunch maybe that she might want more fun?
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of different ways to have fun. Some cost money, some cost nothing. We could go down that route. There's a bunch. There's a bunch of different ways to approach this. So I'll do one more thing.
Carry on. It's apparently your class.
Being all permissive. That's cool. Courtney, what happens when you think about all this?
I feel confused.
Right. Clients are already confused, right?
Yes.
We don't even need to make a confusion trance. They do it all on their own.
Yeah. Gross.
It's pretty cool. And if we wanted to be more direct, we could use that as an induction here. Where do you notice that confusion? We get better attention on it. That would be cool. But we don't want to go there just yet. Not too soon, Courtney. So what are you interested in? Confusion or fun?
Fun.
Yeah, cool.
What does fun look like to you? How would you like to experience fun?
That's a good question. How funny that it feels like it goes back to freedom. Okay. Want to be able to choose how I spend my time. So fun means I'm choosing how I'm spending my time and I'm spending my energy.
So this is cool. We have a bit of a looping back into something she talked about before. And so sometimes with this type of approach, we can kind of get stuck in this little loop where they kind of bring up the same ideas. What I like to do in a situation like this, because we're exploring, now we're discovering different layers to what's going on here. Now we just want to try to draw her awareness to all those things. Remember the cool parts she did? A really simple way to do that. Courtney, what's the funnest way that you could also feel free and it be your choice? Just really consider that for a moment.
The funnest way to feel free and it being my choice. I'm imagining myself making money doing this work and not the other work I've been doing.
What happens when you think about all that? Here you go. You're amongst friends and you're safe.
It feels like freedom. What was your question again?
There we go. So that's a pretty cool unconscious response, right? She went deep inward, came back, didn't know what the hypnotic amnesia just occurred for all intents and purposes, right? Very nice light trance. So Courtney, what would be the funnest way you could feel free and it be your choice?
Yeah, I'm just getting the image of me doing this work, but it feels like the business has already been set up already, so I'm just showing up and doing the fun part.
Yeah.
Which is working with people.
Working with people.
Yeah.
Jan, what questions come to mind? Take your time. Are you getting any kind of an interesting insight here, or anything you're super curious about that you'd like to learn more about? We're not trying to solve this problem. We just want to create a space for her to learn about it.
questioning the, how freedom and the fun relate?
Wow. Yeah, I think that's great. Let's do that.
I didn't hear that. What did you?
Sorry, how does the freedom and the fun relate together? So Courtney, when you're looking at the most fun way for you to have freedom, how do they relate? How are they connected?
Choice, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just feels like I get to choose where I'm spending my time. But you know what, I have a question. How does that tie back to me feeling taken care of? Like that, I don't understand how we got so far away from that.
Human beings are complex, right?
Yeah.
Just gonna ask a couple questions real quick. So, Courtney, what happens when you think about being taken care of?
So being taken care of also feels like I have so much more choice, because then it feels like I don't have to do the things that I don't want to do. So it feels like oh, that felt trippy. I felt that one coming. It feels like the distance between me and the fun is a bunch of things I don't want to do.
Right.
So if I were to choose to just let my husband take care of me financially, I don't have to do none of the things I don't want to do, but also then I don't get to do the things I really want to do.
That trippy feeling
Yeah.
you described a moment ago, what was that like?
That's
Yeah.
like, oh, like you're going under. Like if you had anesthesia, like that moment that you feel the anesthesia kick in, or that the laughing gas kick in. That's what it felt like. Whoa. Like time just stretched.
Yeah. Did you know your mind could create that feeling spontaneously?
Sure.
It must mean something, because it came from you.
Yeah.
And where did you notice that feeling the strongest at?
Right in front of me.
Yeah.
Not inside of me, right in front of me. Like almost like I was, yeah. Maybe space stretched too, time and space.
I have a question, and it might be a little rude.
Uh-huh.
I think it's important, and I don't think I would be doing the right thing if I didn't ask it. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Is there any choice that you just feel you're not willing to make right now?
Sure.
Yeah. It's just a pause. So I did it because she brought up choice, right? We heard her say choice. That kept coming up. So we just wanted to clarify whatever the hell that means, right? I don't know. Choice can mean a bunch of different things. I have my own presumptions. Those are my presumptions. Yep.
I have a question. What happened the megasecond before the anesthesia kicked in front of it? Because I saw what happened, but I didn't see
Neat.
what led to it. But it was internal as far as I can tell.
No, I secretly.
Well, he had asked a question about like choice, I think, or it was, I forget what the question was, but he asked a question. I went in to find it, and then it was like I.
That's what I
Yes.
saw.
Mm-hmm. Told you.
Yeah. What choice do you not want to make?
To do things that aren't fun. Like I want the whole process to be fun.
Yeah.
And
There you go.
so the questions I'm asking myself then are like, okay, is it not, like what makes it not fun? And could I make make that fun. But first, what makes it not fun?
Yeah.
And that it's hard and confusing. I don't actually know what I'm doing. So it's so much more fun when you know what you're doing so that you find your flow in it. And I don't have flow yet in the creating of the business part. And so it feels hard.
How do your eyelids feel right now?
So I don't know, I can take a nap. Yeah.
Just for a moment, give yourself permission to really experience whatever this is.
Oh, if it's hard or like if it's.
Just experience all of it. Fully. Without any judgment. Really learn from this.
When I tell myself I don't know what I'm doing, like it really sucks the fun out of it. Or if I tell myself I'm not sure that I know what I'm doing. Am I doing it right? How can uncertainty be fun?
Something you may consider is all the fun you've had before without even knowing how you did it. Unless, of course, that wouldn't be helpful. To just have fun without knowing how. Because how could you ever know a thing like that?
But I usually notice this, I don't know, sometimes I think I noticed that it was fun after I was already freaking out about it. So like after, then I can look back and say, oh, that was kind of fun.
It's when you think about freaking out and having fun.
And think about making fun of myself or freaking out.
What an interesting choice that is. What do you notice right now as you experience whatever this is?
That, maybe Oh.
There you go. Yeah.
It's that emotional state that I think I have to have before I'm allowed to have fun, or instead of fun. That overwhelm and frustration, like there's certain good feelings that you don't let yourself have, like upper limits and stuff, and like the way you turn yourself off is like with that emotion that you practice more. For me, a lot of times it's helplessness, but this one doesn't feel helpless, it feels overwhelmed and frustrated. And that's way more appropriate for me than fun.
There you go. Wheelchair, you're safe. Here comes the emotion. Yeah. Courtney, a moment ago you said something really interesting. You mentioned feeling what's appropriate. What's appropriate about any of this?
What's appropriate about here?
Any of the stuff, the prerequisite for having fun, feeling like you need to feel the other things. What did you mean by that?
So like how like joy is a more vulnerable feeling than an uncomfortable emotion. And so like the way that we try to protect ourselves is by not allowing us to feel those good feeling emotions, or we can only feel them to a certain extent or for a certain period of time. So the way that I don't know that it's the way that I've protected myself, but it seems like it could be the way that I've protected myself from disappointment.
So just take your time here, everyone. I just want to talk to the class real quick. So she talked about joy and vulnerability, sort of the relationship between these things. And so there's when she wants to feel joy, that feels very vulnerable to her. And then she talked about maybe that's a protection mechanism. There's a lot of discovery happening right now. I want to ask you, Jan, anything you're curious about with that? Anything you're wondering about with that?
Is there anything else she wants to tell us? Is there anything else that's relevant? Because of all the ahas you've already, all the information you've already been able to put together.
Just that I would love to be able to feel fun, feel experience fun in the creation process of my business. Oh, shit.
Try not to say it out loud. We want her to discover it.
What just came up? Yeah, what just came up?
The amount of fulfillment and good feelings that I imagine I would feel once I'm doing this in the way that I want to do it feels like I can't handle. Like, it's too big of a good feeling. I won't let myself feel it.
Feel that chair, you're safe here with everyone.
Like we love to have our dreams, right? We love to have like this vision, but we stop ourselves from doing that because in the process of like taking action, you lose the fantasy of it, or that's not exactly what I mean. Like, where do you go from there? Like, if you're feeling that good, like, oh, it's only down. It can only go, like, something bad has to happen after that, or like, I don't know.
Yeah. You're afraid of it going down?
I'm afraid of feeling really good.
Yeah. And why is that?
Because then something bad happens.
Could it be worse than not achieving the things you want to achieve?
Yeah.
Yeah. How would that happen?
To achieve it and then to lose it,
Yeah.
that devastation is bigger than not having
Yeah. Mourning the things we haven't lost. Haven't even had the opportunity to lose those things yet. What's the worst thing you could lose? Besides this stuck feeling?
myself. Oh God.
Yeah.
Because if I were to have it and lose it, then that would confirm that I wasn't good enough to have it in the first place.
What's it feel like to express that?
I'm throwing up. I'm not gonna throw up, but that's
Yeah, it's got to come up sometime.
the sensation. Yeah. What was your question?
What's the worst part about losing yourself?
The feeling of emptiness.
Yeah. And what's it like to confront that feeling?
When I imagine confronting that feeling, it kind of feels like it wasn't actually real. There's emptiness, and then there's me when I confront it, and then the emptiness goes away.
Just take it and sit with that, Courtney. Okay? I have a feeling there's something important there. Just take a moment and sit with that, okay, Courtney, start projecting my voice. So, did you see the head shake and then the insight? It's not real, right? This is just a way that the unconscious mind communicates constantly. Right? Now the hands are moving closer together, right? So the parts are starting to integrate, presumably. It could be a physiological sign of that. Hey Courtney, what happens now when you think about all the fun you want to have, knowing that you confronted that and didn't appear to be real?
Well, right now I'm imagining myself doing like the creating of the business part, and hold on, I want to associate that.
Take your time. This is what I call the infinite model approach. So it sounds like kind of like a timeline thing's happening or something right now. We've had parts where it show up and all these interesting things spontaneously emerge. And she's doing it all though. We're just learning, just listening, exploring, becoming aware, discovering. We want to really honor the space for her to feel this, whatever she needs to sort of learn from it.
I was imagining myself like doing the activities, like the creating the business activities, and I could see myself looking like very driven and like that hungry feeling, you know, which I love, that driven feeling. But I was second position, like I wasn't associated, and then when I associate into it, it still kind of feels like not all the way comfortable.
Yeah. So she said when she tries to associate to that feeling of feeling hungry to do stuff and have fun building her business, she said, what was it you said?
Not all the way comfortable.
Not all the way comfortable. So we talked about how we allow the experience of the client to be the framework of the session. Now that becomes the thing we use. Okay. If they resist something, well, what's scary about that? And so here we can use the, you said the comfort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask anything you want to about the comfort, the lack of comfort.
When you're thinking about lack of comfort, what's the opposite for you? And how would you get that? And what gives you that comfort
Okay.
that you're striving for?
I guess the feeling of, okay, thank you. Because the feeling of not being all the way comfortable is happening right here in my gut, and then as I started talking about it, it was like,
Yeah.
really, like the volume of the sensation. Anyway, I guess I want to be certain that the things that I am doing, like those activities that are creating the business, are ones that are going to actually be helpful. Like the discomfort, I think, is about uncertainty and like, am I wasting my time? Am I even doing this right?
When you think about doing something that isn't right, how does that go in with the comfort?
Well, I can do things that aren't right when the outcome isn't. When the goal is to just have fun, it doesn't matter if things are done right or not. But if there's a goal that has to be met, that is more like, you know, monetary, then it feels like I can't afford to not do things right.
And what would happen if you failed and you monetarily slipped for a bit.
I mean, I have kids, like they have to be taken care of. That's not an option.
So if you'd fund failing, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, the question that came to me was like, what if you did all the wrong things but still ended up right? That could happen.
She said, what if you do all the wrong things and it still ended up right? What an interesting resource that is. Hey, Courtney, what happens to that feeling in your stomach when you think about doing all the wrong things and it still turns out right? There you go. There's the laughter. And then will come the emotion. Yeah. There you go. You're doing a hell of a job, Courtney. Well, you said something about being scared about being vulnerable. Here you are. Learning how to do things right. But for you. There you go. Hell of a roller coaster, huh?
Yeah.
We're gonna open a theme park, guys. We're gonna. What happens now, Courtney? You think about all this stuff.
I think that having that belief that I can do all the wrong things and still they can still turn out right is a belief that I really like, because I can't control really the outcome of anything anyway. I'm not the one who's in control. So that feels like a belief that I'd like to move forward with.
Yeah.
Say it again louder, sir.
Oh, yeah, sorry guys, it's hard to project.
You're doing a hell of a job.
Trance, what did I say?
Asking the wrong guy, I don't remember what I said.
That feels like a belief that I'd like to carry forward.
Yeah.
Is being able to do all of the wrong things and still have it work out right.
Yeah.
Have you ever had an experience like that before, where you maybe set out on a journey and it didn't go as planned, and maybe things got muddy along the way, but it still worked out?
Yeah. And it's usually like the hindsight, right?
Yeah.
When you're like looking back and you're like, that actually turned out fine. Or actually even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it feel in the moment, though?
Well, there's been times when I've been very tight and tense and wanting to control. Hey James, I didn't know you were in here. What's up? And then other times where I just kind of had that knowing that things were gonna work out and just rolled with it.
Yeah.
And I much prefer that, but yeah.
What do you think differentiated the knowing from the not knowing, and it's still working out either way?
The intention.
Ah.
The intention to enjoy myself and feel good, or the intention to try to make it go how I want it to go.
Right.
Ooh, they're the.
Are there other areas in your life where that intention?
Oh, that's the
The
feeling like
control.
when I become aware of something and I don't like it, and I'm ready to
Yeah.
get I feel like that nausea kind of feeling,
Yeah.
just for like a second.
Yeah. Okay. What makes you most nauseous about all that?
The intention to control.
Yeah.
I really don't enjoy that at all.
How does it feel here when you think about control?
Okay, now we're okay. Tight and even like poison kind of.
What's being poisoned?
My happiness. Because that's where serotonin is.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that. I swear the people I work with are smarter than me. They know all this stuff.
She said that's where the serotonin is
Yeah.
being created.
So when she tries to control, poisons her happiness. Yeah. And if there were a cure for that poison that you could take and cure that bellyache?
Surrender.
Surrender.
Oh, you didn't hear? Sorry, surrender.
I gotta maybe make it into a circle, get everybody uptight. How's it feel to think about surrendering?
Fun.
Fun. Surrendering feels like fun. How's that work?
Because then I'm not making the choices that I don't want to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just being taken care of.
That's cool. That's cool. So what happens now, Courtney, when you think about all the cool things you discovered, and when you think about moving towards your goals, having fun?
It feels like fun.
Yeah, it feels like fun. How's your belly feel?
Bubbly.
Bubbly. Bubbly belly, filled with fun bubbles, right? Do those bubbles burst?
Yeah, it's like they're carrying, like it needs to be released, like it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll probably burp a whole lot or something like that later.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Courtney?
I was already feeling complete when I opened my eyes, but I appreciate the rest of it that we talked
Yeah.
about there.
Want to see if there's anything else?
Test it.
Let's play around a little bit with that.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well. So testing's cool. The real test is obviously going out into the real world, right?
Mhm.
Like, people can have a cool session with you, but then that doesn't, like, if they don't go do the thing they want to do, I don't know. Like, ultimately, as the therapist, as the hypnotist, you really don't have control over what your clients do. I like to think about testing as just another part of this Aquarius nature we're playing together with right now. So there's a lot of different ways to think about it. But Courtney, what happens when you think about maybe going out and starting to do some business stuff?
I mean, it's okay. Hold on.
There we go.
Because I'm imagining like I'm seeing myself, so I want to like associate.
She's imagining, she's seeing things, seeing the business being created.
Yeah, so I'm imagining me doing these things, but I wasn't actually associated into that image, so I want to like really feel it. It feels playful and fun, and like I'm not thinking of the outcome.
playful without the outcome. I like that. But what if things are going terrible? Make a video, nobody looks at it.
Oh.
Bunch of jerky comments. Or jerk face jerks, I mean humans that we want to help.
Kind of. I'm just seeing myself continuing and not worry. Like I don't need to make an assessment on that yet. I'm just
Yeah. You're just gonna keep going. So the metaphor, my logo is the path, right? For my clinic, 'cause it's all about the path. We just take one step on the journey. That's all that really exists, right? Is the path.
yeah.
How the hell can you ever know where that's gonna go? I don't know. I didn't know I was gonna be here 5 years ago, hanging out with you cool people. Crazy. It was fun though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What about, gosh, I'm trying to think of obstacles you might encounter. Oh, Courtney, what if you wake up one day and you just kind of feel low energy and you don't feel like playing?
So I'm seeing myself in my bed with my laptop.
The resources, right? That's something Hermosi talks about, right? We just roll out of bed. She's building the archetype she needs right now to be successful under any condition. I didn't do any of this. Pretty cool. What if money gets tight?
I mean, it's already tight.
Yeah, right?
So I mean, I don't imagine it being tighter than it is now.
Yeah. Is that gonna make it so you can't play and have fun doing the things you wanna do?
Thank you for asking that. Yeah, it kind of feels like maybe it would.
How's your belly feel?
Little tight.
Yeah. Do me a favor for a moment. Can you just focus on that tight feeling in your belly for a moment? And just allow yourself to experience that feeling. What do you notice? Take your time. But don't judge it.
Kind of feels like the sensation is tight, but it feels like this metal device that's like around my gut.
Yeah. Just notice that metal device around your gut. Just really feel that. Become aware of it. And if that had a lesson to teach you about this, what do you think it would be?
The metal device from my gut had a lesson to
Yeah.
teach. know there was something about like, if the intention is to protect me, like, yeah, we know that. But then the lesson is like, it's like you need to be responsible.
So she said, the lesson is that I need to be responsible. So Jan brought up a really good point you couldn't hear, but she said, if there wasn't a lesson. So that's, you can utilize, if there's not an answer, if there's not an experience, you go, so do you really need it then? Right? You can explore that. But if there's a sense of responsibility that came up for you, what do you suppose is the most important way you can feel more responsible? Actions you can take, things you can do? Does anything come to mind when you think about being responsible?
Yeah, so being responsible has come up a lot.
Yeah.
Before I couldn't have fun because responsibility and fun couldn't go together. But it doesn't feel like that's what's happening now. It's like, because fun is my responsibility. Because we're talking about money getting tighter earlier, and then I got tight in my gut.
So she was talking about money getting tighter earlier, and that's when the tightness started around her gut.
Yeah.
And she said, fun is my responsibility. What happens what happens to that feeling in your stomach when you think about all the ways you could have fun that don't require any money?
So we were talking about like money being tight earlier, and then it felt like, then it felt like, oh, now I can't have fun in my business because, okay, so I'm having fun in my business, but then money gets really tight. So then it feels like, oh, now I can't do that. I have to do something I don't want to do. Because if I'm focusing all of my energy and my time in my business, and that's really fun, but it's not bringing in the money, then it feels like, oh, now I have to do something else, and that's not fun.
Does that belly feel tight when you think about all that?
Yeah.
What's the most responsible thing you can do to have fun? Surrender. And what specifically are you surrendering?
Control.
Control. How does one surrender control?
By being present, saying yes to your current experience.
Right.
It's squeezing in there.
Yeah. Does it squeeze when you say yes to your current experience? What other experience could you have but the one that you're having? Yeah.
What?
Well, you said when you say yes to your current experience, you feel that loosen up.
Yeah.
What other experience could you have than what's here right now?
it's squeezing when I'm trying to control the outcome.
Why would it do that?
Well, when control is tight, right? Yeah.
It's interesting though, control can be tight, but why would it squeeze?
To let me know to loosen
Holy moly, she said to let me know to loosen up.
up, to relax, let go. Because it was that, when it started squeezing, it was when you had asked me, like, what if money gets really, really tight? And I'm like, oh, no, not that. I don't want to have to not do something I don't want to do.
And I didn't ask you those questions because I was there when I started my clinic.
Because what?
I didn't ask you those questions because I wasn't there when I started my clinic.
Oh, you mean they're like emotionally?
Yeah. Like, holy shit, I got big bills.
Yeah.
Kids need shoes, fuck.
Yeah.
Gotta get clients, leave Jen, I don't know what I'm doing. I won't sleep, fuck it. Let's go. That's how I went. It's a nightmare. But all the while, that tightness in your stomach was there to remind you to let go?
Yeah.
And why would it want you to let go?
Because I don't know what the outcome's going to be anyway.
Yeah.
How can you best remember how to let go?
Well, I think my gut's going to tell me.
Built
it-
right in.
How painful is that? How much does it have to hurt for you to?
Oh, it doesn't have to hurt.
Okay.
I just feel the squeezing, and then I know, oh yeah, that's my unconscious saying, chill the fuck out. Let go.
And bring it to your attention.
Oh yeah, because we
And-
got that relationship.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So you can see like an integration, you can see the parts, they were kind of disparately connected, there was tension between, we didn't do parts work in like a traditional approach, but she knew how to do that, right? She kind of figured out her mind, we just had to get to the space for her to sort of explore all the things going around, and slowly the thing that was causing her a lot of discomfort became the method for her to create comfort while she's facing challenges. That's kind of cool, right? The thing that's a problem can become a solution.
That's why I love this method.
Yeah, kind of fun. So just, any other things you want to go over? We can tear this thing apart, have some fun, have a conversation with everybody here. Sound cool?
Oh, wait, what?
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nah.
Asked like 8 questions at once and none of them made sense. Yikes. I talk for a living. Yeah, I think we got to give Courtney and Jen a hand. That's a lot of vulnerability, right?
I'm not sure how helpful I was.
You killed it, Jan. Yeah. Let's do Q&A.